Grayskull.
Let's talk some toys in here. Okay, so today for review, we're going to take a look at the new Master Universe Origins Turtles of Grayskull HORDAK figure, part of the Turtles of Grayskull Wave 4 series. And yeah, I got to say, HORDAK is definitely the coolest looking one from the 3 figures I got. So yesterday, I reviewed April. She came out really cool with those Sorceress wings. I also got the Stealth He-Man. Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on getting that new Leonardo with the, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like enough differences in me to the regular Leonardo, besides some different clothing to, I don't know, buy it. I have to see. But HORDAK, yeah, definitely got to have him. HORDAK's always a fan favorite. I absolutely love the design on him. So it looks like he has a typical, I'd say, first release Origins HORDAK body, I think. We'll see once we get him out and all the parts off later. But what's cool is he has a newer shoulder armor piece with the bat symbol on the main chest plate and a pair of, like, translucent wings on the back. Not only is that cool for this figure in the Turtles of Grayskull line, but I'll try it on one of the vintage-inspired HORDAKs later, and maybe the Masterverse HORDAK. Now, you notice, too, he has a newer head sculpt or head design with the bone collar. But I also noticed that it looks like they also use the same head in something similar to that bone collar on the Masterverse HORDAK. From what I can see, he's over to the side, so I'm looking at. And, of course, once again, later on, I'll bring him in for comparisons. Side, they did change a little bit of the expression in the face and maybe one of the eyes, like he's growling or something. Still pretty cool that they reuse that head. It works perfect on this figure. He has a new blaster arm or mechanical arm on the right side with a, some type of blaster effect. And I'm wondering if that arm is reversible and we could put it on the other side. So if you got 2 of these, you can give him 2 mechanical arms later on down the road. We'll see again once we get him out of package. Side that, yeah, I absolutely love seeing HORDAK in this Turtles of Grayskull series. And of course, as always, here's a quick look at the art. I'm back at the packaging. So yeah, we have the new HORDAK fighting against Splinter. Splinter's another excellent figure in the Turtles of Grayskull line. I just reviewed him not that long ago. I really love his design, how he came out. And it looks like they're fighting on top of Castle Grayskull. And you can see that double blaster that was set on top, whether it's the Classics or the Origins one. But it looks like they modified it with the drum of ooze. You can see the lines going into the weapon, and it fires ooze now. You can see the ooze leaking from the barrels. And now here's a quick look at HORDAK's new bio. You want to pause and read that. And then dropping down to the left-hand side, we just see a picture illustration of HORDAK's ooze blaster. So it just says fit ooze blaster into cannon. All right, so that's the blast that goes into the cannon arm. You can see the wings spread out in the back, which, yeah, I can't wait to see those. And then moving over to the cross-sell, these are all 4 figures as part of this Turtles of Grayskull Series 4 assortment of figures. So before we take a look at HORDAK and all his accessories, he comes with a new comic called He-Man and a Half Shell. It's the same comic that April came with. So now I'm assuming all 4 Turtles comes with the same comic. Right, so you take a better look at the cover, and I'm going to open it up. And once again, I'm just going to try to bring it up close so you can read the bubble captions. Because yesterday I had a lot of trouble focusing in on it. I'm just going to do one of these, and you can take a look at everything. Yeah, this was cool. I pointed that out yesterday with all the newer villains like Mutated, Stinkor, Clawful, Whiplash. I really hope to see them guys in this line. Here's Too Bad. I think that's the vintage one, not the cartoon one that just came out. Which I'm surprised I didn't have him at San Diego Comic-Con either. Alright, moving down here. There's a new Metal Botto. I started building him a little bit. Gotta wait for the rest of the parts. Look here. Hopefully it's focusing in okay for people who want to read the captions. Here we go. It's He-Man. Alright, down over here. We go battle over there. Too Bad. What's going on? Bebop and Rocksteady. Pretty cool. Yeah, I mentioned in my April review that I'm surprised they weren't at San Diego Comic-Con either. In the individual form, they showed Bebop Steady. I'm sure they're coming. Alright, next page. Focusing here. Skeletor Krang. Going down like this. There's April in the background. April Sorceress April, excuse me. These. Battle going on over there. There's Bebop Steady down there. Can't wait to get him. He's going to be a Target exclusive, and he's going to come with the rest of the Metal Botto parts, if you're not familiar. Hopefully I can, here we go. I'm trying to focus on this. All right. Yeah, some excellent art. Good story in this too. A lot going on. All right. Over here. You can see up here too, I pointed out yesterday, it looks like new Buzz-Off. There's Stridor, Fisto. Some other characters in the background too, and I can't really see who they are too well. It's two Bob Steady fighting. Was that Ramman? Okay. Raphael. Try to do this. All right. It's a long one too. There's our Hordak. I'll be reviewing soon. Go down, Splinter. Okay, this. Hopefully you can read these. Splinter in the background. Yeah, it's cool. He-Man's like in the stealth form. He's like unmutated now. Just regular He-Man again. Alright, so taking a closer look at Hordak's new head and face sculpt. Yeah, it looks really awesome for the Turtles of Grayskull line. It's very Filmation inspired. It has a little bit of a grin, as I mentioned, like he's growling or something. I like that, how the one side's raised up, but you can see the teeth showing. They even paint it inside the mouth, and the teeth are still white. Yeah, I love the eyes, the overall sculpt and design. How it's painted red inside there, but it has the black highlights. He has that blue fin on the top that's painted that goes down the skull. Now, as I already mentioned, this looks almost identical to the Masterverse Hordak head. So let me bring that figure in right now to show you a quick comparison. So here's a quick side-by-side comparison with the Masterverse Hordak and, of course, this new Turtles of Grayskull Hordak. Yeah, usually I would bring these in later. I'll bring them in again later, again, for customization. But I just wanted to see, yeah, it almost looks, I'd say the heads are very similar, aside his has a new expression, right, with the mouth raised up, even the eye on this one side. The colors, this is more of a, like a flat white color, where this has, it's like a pearl color, the Masterverse one, at least in my light. Let's see, going to the side, how about the ears and the face? The fins, yeah, they're pretty close. Even the hoods, if you see the hoods, right, the skull, like this, the overall design, they look close. Side, this one has the bones are painted gray, this is all black, and it's spinning them around. Yeah, also very similar, but this one, the Origins goes down more, and his is, there's a different design in it, and I'll show you why. So obviously I have the heads and the hoods removed on both Hordak figures. Yeah, I want to get this out of the way first. Usually this is something I would do later in the review, but it's on my mind. So as far as the Origins Hordak, right, he has a typical Masterverse style neck and ball peg, which I expected, but the Masterverse one, if you're not familiar, see, he has 3 pegs that sit up in the back, and that's how this cape would slide on. And going back to the hoods, all right, so here's a look at both hoods and heads off both the Hordak figures, obviously down on his turntable. So again, this is the Masterverse hood. You can tell with the gray bones painted, and this is the head off to the side. And here's our Origins. So going back to these hoods, first thing, so looking at the Masterverse hood, and then the Origins right off to the side, the black one. See, it looks like they're almost identical as far as just how, you know, the molding on them, or the casting. But this one has a square cut that's different, so it's going to fit over that Masterverse neck, and then I guess those pins come up. Or no, I'm sorry, they go inside it. See that? All right, so they have 3 pins that go inside it. So different design back here. And then the Origins one, all black. Oh, this is smooth inside, where the Origins has like almost bone sculpt that out or something. It's completely round to go over that neck piece, and then if you flip that around, yeah, it's different. It doesn't have obviously the peg holes, but it is, yeah, it is different. So these are 2 different hoods. And then going back to the heads once again, and here's a quick look at those heads, again off the body, maybe it's easier. Yeah, they look close, but they're different. Okay, the jaw does look different on the, what's this one? This one is the Origins. Yeah, it's deceiving, but yeah, I guess they are a little different. Even the pegs inside, how they fit the necks, are completely different. How about the back? And the backs too are a little bit similar. How about the ears? And they look the same. So it's close. It's almost like the same tooling, but it's modified. Same thing goes back to the hoods. And then jumping back over to the Origins Hordak body, I put the Masterverse hood and head on this body. I just want to see how it fits. It's going to be one of them videos where I'm going to jump around a little bit, mixing parts and articulation, all that stuff. So it does work. It is a little sloppy, but if you would like that hood and his head, let me see. I did have to force it down because it's a little different. You can articulate a little bit, not much. But yeah, it does work for the most part. And here's how it would look on the back of the Origins with this hood and head from the Masterverse HORDAK. And then, of course, bringing the Masterverse body in with the Origins HORDAK hood. Yeah, that's not going to work because it doesn't have the holes, the recess on top of those 3 pins that hold the cape. So if you put his hood back on, and then I just want to see if the Origins head, which is right here, will that work? Doesn't look like it will. Nope. It's like too sloppy. What if you take this off? Will it fit on? It can go on, but it's too loose. Look at that. It just barely catches. Alright, so I just wanted to get that out of the way quick with the Masterverse HORDAK. Again, I'll bring him back in with his original setup to try to put those wings and the armor on later. And now, jumping back over to the HORDAK body. Of course, I put the head and hood back on. Right? I wanted to get that Masterverse one out of the way to try to compare this head and hood. So again, it looks like very similar tooling, but yet differences. So this is different in its own way. But yeah, awesome head sculpt. So as far as the articulation with this head and hood, you don't have too much. The hood can kind of, yeah, you can move it a little bit. It's not going to, obviously it's not really meant to move. And if you push it, it wants to pop off the peg. So I'm not going to mess with that. And then as far as the head, you can like rock around like that, right? Side to side. You can look to the left, about that far. You can go to the right. All right, you can spin the head. Let me see. Okay, all the way, because then the bone piece in the jaw hits the collar. Let me go back to the left again. All right, so he can look all the way left to right for the most part. You can't go down because of that piece again in the front. You can't go back because of the hood. It's very typical with a HORDAK head, you know. I mean, usually the vintage Spire one doesn't even move. And I'll try that head on this later, on this body later, with the armor to see if it works. So yeah, that's about it with the articulation. But yeah, I love that grin in the face and the teeth, the eyes, and just the overall paint or the casting on the colors rather on this skull. So moving down to the chest and buck, the new armor. So yeah, obviously we have some new armor that sits over his shoulders, goes around the whole chest and even the back. Yeah, pretty cool design. Has like just like large blades or something on both of the shoulder pieces. Now does this come off the chest split? No, it's all one piece. Looks like it would, you know, some kind of buckles or something. It would snap off, but it doesn't, from what I can see. Yeah, you got this large, you know, Horde style bat symbol. It's part of the sculpt and painted. That's really awesome. Love the size of that. You can see HORDAK's face protruding out. Now, spinning him around. So there's the very back. That's going to be the pegs that those wings are going to mount in. We'll get to them a little while as part of the accessories. Just want to work my way down to the figure. We'll remove everything, put everything back on. Kind of do that, yeah, old routine. Yeah, even has like a bat symbol sculpted back here with some webbing coming out. Now, so as far as the arms, yeah, let me leave the armor on because let's do the articulation. So yeah, we have a newer style arm, obviously on the right side. It's a typical, yeah, Origin style arm, but it has, yeah, new mechanical, this blaster on it, ooze blaster. Now he has this bicep piece with like a reinforced, I guess this is where the energy's coming out of, going up into the arm or something like that. And does this move? Yeah, this is a separate piece that can slide down the bicep. But this piece doesn't look like it comes out. The main blaster itself, it looks like it's all part of the sculpt. If you can, you know, if you can see that, I think it is. Yeah, I thought maybe that'd spin. You could pop this off with a peg. No, that's actually a whole new forearm with this weapon. Interesting. Okay. I don't know why they made this removable. I guess. All right, we'll figure out when we move the arm. Anyway, so with the armor on, the articulation with this arm and this weapon setup, so we can go all the way up, down, forward, back, as far as you're going to go back. So this can bend all the way up. Well, as far as it can bend, you can straighten it out. So that can spin, and then same thing with this line, this hose. You spin it all around. Can you go up to the face? No, it's about as far as you can go. How about forward when you're like pointing the weapon forward? That's about it. You don't have the greatest articulation because of the armor and the overall setup. So you can see like the vial of the ooze canisters, turtle ooze, right? Sculpted in all the way around. It's 4 of them. Pretty cool. With the back. All right, so all the same. And then moving on to the left side, that's just a typical Hordak Origin style arm. Go up, down, forward and back. Has his iconic that rubber band on with the bat symbol on it. Now you can pull out right off the bicep. I'm gonna leave it on, but yeah, it does come off. And then of course you have the typical Hordak style. Well, no, it's just a steel bracer. No, same one that the regular Hordak comes with. I'm sorry, that one's black. This is just silver, so it's the same Hordak arms. I'm saying, and you can bend up all the way up the elbow, straighten it out, spin, and again, this piece of sculpt on paint it, and then he comes with a hand on the side that can spin, semi-open weapon gripping hand, I call them, spin and go in and out. It's on a hinge joint. And now moving down to the waist and loincloth area, let's just finish up the articulation. So yeah, like every Origins, you can spin at the waist, nothing new. Come apart at the waist, real easy. He has this new like reinforced belt guard, which yeah, comes right off easy, pretty cool. It's like some kind of steel blade. Even has he had a Hordak head or maybe Horde Prime or something sculpted, and if you can see that, it's pretty cool. Zoom in on that. Pretty neat piece. And then he just has typical, Origin style legs, right? Nothing different. And he can go out with a split, do some high kicks with the articulation, kick forward, go back, bend at the knee, spin at the knee. And then he has typical style, yeah, it's just Horde boots with the bat and everything, but nothing's painted. And they can spin, come off. The other side's all the same. Then he has the Hordak foot is all part of that iconic boot. And I can go up and down, rock side to side. And yeah, if you want to change out the black Hordak boots, excuse me, my throat's bothering me today, to match this you could, which I'll do later when we start mixing some customs with them. I don't know why they just give them black boots. I guess they want to make them look more technical with all the steel going back to this weapon. So moving back up to the head, let's start breaking all the armor down and see if this arm can come out and if it goes on the other side and things like that. So to remove the upper armor piece, again, I'm going to remove the head and that hood. We noticed are two separate pieces. And then to remove this newer armor piece, looks like it comes right off the shoulders. And there's a closer look at that armor off the body, right? Yeah, it's a pretty stiff piece, but yet flexible. And now, once again, here's a look with Hordak with the hood and head back on, but of course I removed the armor, so if you want to customize them without it, just have them with nothing on. That's what he would look like. With, of course, this one's unique. It comes with the blaster arm in different colors. So jumping back over to this arm again, right? So we get a better look at the articulation, all that good stuff. Without that armor piece on, moves a lot, it's more free how it moves. Now, I'm going to remove this from the socket. All right, so it's a typical Origin style, peg. I don't think, you're not going to, I was thinking maybe you can, like, reverse the arms, at least this one. So if you had two of these, you could put two Ooze blaster arms on for some reason. But no, it's just the peg that goes up and down. So even if you put it on the other side, it'll be upside down. It's not like these have bicep swivels. I think the Masterverse Hordak was able to do that with the he had a cannon arm. So no, this one you're not going to do it from what I can see. It's meant to go on the right side. And then what's the deal with this piece now? See, so you can pull this over the shoulder. Okay, so that's how that comes off. But again, I don't understand. Maybe they just didn't want to sculpt it on, or was the last. You would think this. I really thought this was a separate piece. Nope, it definitely is not. It's all part of the arm. Okay, so putting that arm back on once again. Yeah, it's not reversible from what I can see. We know this is all part of the sculpt again from what I can see. And I put this collar piece on. So I tried the first release, this gray Hordak's armor and cape on this figure with the head and hood. So it does work if you got this figure, got a second one down the road, you like this blue color. Again, this blaster arm, the overall setup. You can change the boots to black. I'm just going to leave these on for now. And that's what it looked like with the cape. But you really had to force this head on. It's like, because it wants to keep popping off with this rubber piece and just how it's set up. But it does work. And now moving back down to this belt guard. So we can break them at the waist again. See how easy that head fell off with this armor? It's pretty difficult. And this pulls right off the waist. You didn't want to use it. And there's a close-up look at that, belt guard or belt blade guard off the waist. And now, moving forward with Hordak's weapons and accessories. And one of the coolest parts is, new wings. So, we get this pretty interesting. You get a new pair of, they're like techno, semi-translucent, mechanical, articulated wings. They're both identical aside. One's for the left and the other's for the right side. So taking a closer look at them, it's a pretty cool design. Again, it's semi-translucent. You put a light through them. You see my finger through it somewhat, but it's not completely transparent. I thought it was at first. It's like on a gear, pin in there. So it can spin all the way up till it hits this pin. This is what's going to plug in the back of that armor and go all the way and fold down, which, of course, once we have it on him, we'll try that out. Yeah, I like the highlights in the outer, these articulated little arm pieces that branch off into wings. And again, these are supposed to be, I guess, mechanical. They're not like biological wings. But yeah, really cool design. You got blades up here. They don't move. It's all part of the sculpt. And then flipping it around, same thing on the back side, right? See, I like how it's like, yeah, they have weaving through them, like skeletonized pattern kind of going there. Got extra details down back in here too, and the shoulder piece. And again, the other side is all the same with the highlights. These extra, yeah, you got to see the spines. You know, the spine pieces come off the edges. How are they? I don't want. Yeah, this is something you got to be careful with. When things like a seat breaking, you mess around with it. So once again, bringing HORDAK back into the frame. Let's put these mechanical wings on him. So yeah, obviously this is the left side from the back. You can see where this head of pin's going to push into the armor. So I'm going to snap on that one, and how's it go in? All right, so it goes right in. And then let's put the right one on the right side. And there you go. That's all there is to it. So yeah, obviously we're still looking at the back side of HORDAK with the wings on. We know that this is the back part of the wings, is the front. But with the wings on his back, while we're looking at him from that side, so as far as your articulation, so you can go all the way up, you can fold this outer part of the wing all the way around, down, and it gets hindered. It kind of locks. What does it hit? I'm sorry, it hits that pin, or the, yeah, it hits that pin again. The wing go all the way down like so. Right, the other sides are all the same. And so this is look at the wings spread open and out like this. Again, while we're working on the back side of them, you can fold them down like that. And then if you bend them in, articulate them in, let's see, close them. Yeah, that's how it would look. That's pretty cool design. All right, so now obviously I spun them around. Take a look at what the wings would look like from the front side of them. So that's obviously what you're going to be looking at for the most part. Now he's, yeah, really heavy. I'm having a lot of problems with loose joints and back and the knees. I'm probably going to use some of this clear top coat gel. I think I showed this in my Splinter review, like a little bonus content where I store my parts. This works excellent for the joints. One of the feet too, or this foot on this side is becoming very loose. And this is like a McFarlane stand with a peg that, you know, just kind of hold them up when I'm trying to show the wings. All right, so side that. So yeah, this is a look with the wings folded in, right? Looking at them, facing forward. All right, so there's that. And you spread them out. It's the next position, wings out like that. Looks pretty cool. And then you can, all right, so I'm trying to leave the back part. So there's two parts to these, right? You could spin it up like this, which, yeah, that too in itself is really cool. And you can, you know, bring both of these points to touch, or you can bring this piece up a little further, spread the wings so they look like that, and then you see these two blades touch, all the way up like that. I think they look cool, something like that. But that's, yeah, what an awesome design for a set of mechanical wings, I'm going to call them, for this HORDAK. I like that. And now taking a look at HORDAK's last accessory. So he comes with the Ooze Blast. I think I called it a blaster on the back of the package. This is the Ooze Blast, and the thing on his arm is the Ooze Blaster. So he does get that. Now it has a, it looks like the peg is typical, or the same peg the Roboto, the Trap Jaw has, and the Mouse Jaw. So I'll bring those accessories and we'll try it on the arm after this. But he does get this, obviously. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The color is, again, it's like a semi-transparent color. You cast light through it, but you're not going to see through it. All right, so let's plug it back into HORDAK's Ooze Blaster cannon or arm. Just going to go in like that. And you can twist it around. I mean, it doesn't matter how you want it. And now just look at that setup, or HORDAK completed with all accessories it comes with in card. So, yeah, again, as far as this arm, you can only go up that far again because that armor hinders it. You know, to make it look like he's shooting forward. He's kind of, yeah, like shooting it from the hip a little bit. Be cool if you can get it to go up more. But I guess for what it's doing is fine. So, yeah, we got the wings on, right? The original armor, obviously, to mount the wings. This the blast arm, which, again, we can't take this off, and that blast effect. So I think it's some cool accessories that they included with this Turtles of Grayskull HORDAK. So next thing I want to do is bring in some of those accessories that we're going to try on that Ooze Blasting cannon arm. So this is the Mouse Jaw Blaster. Came with Mouse Jaw, obviously, with the same peg. This is the Roboto, one of the Roboto figures, the Dual Blaster, same peg. right? The Roboto axe. We got a Trapjaw blaster from the mini comic Trapjaw because it's silver. You can use a black one too, but I think the silver was better. The one of the claws for Roboto, and then this is a spare fist for the Masterverse New Eternia 2-Bad. I think it went on the right, yeah, thumb, right side, which will be cool to put a punching fist in. I think that will work. So let's put some of these accessories in that blaster cannon arm and see what they look like. All right, so let's remove this ooze blasting effect, and I'm going to put in the mouse jaw blaster. So see that? It does work in the arm, and it looks good. And how heavy is it? All right, again, I have them on a figure stand because of the loose joint thing, but beside that, yep, the accessory also works. And now here's a look at the Roboto axe. So that fits too. So you can convert that blaster into a mechanical hand that also holds weapons. And then next up is that Roboto claw. That also looks cool. And that attached arm. And now here's a look at that dual Roboto blaster that I also threw on this cannon arm. Also works out really well. And the silver's a little off from the main blaster, but this silver supply line with the armband matches this. And then, of course, I just drew that mini comic Trapjaw blaster on that arm. Take a look at that. Looks really cool. Again, it's silver to match the overall silver tones on the arm and its band. And then I just drew the mini comic Trapjaw silver hook on that arm. So if you wanted a hook, it can work. And then lastly, as far as alternative accessories that we could plug into this ooze cannon arm, check that out. That New Eternia 2-Bad steel fist for the right side actually fits in that cannon arm. And you can spin it. It can articulate it out with the, well, it's stuck, but the hinge joint. That's pretty cool. So you can, yeah, give him a steel fisto type fist that plugs into that arm if you had the Masterverse 2-Bad and didn't use that punching fist. Or you can use the open hand too, which is on my 2-Bad. I thought the punching fist is cool, but that's awesome. Okay, so once again, I just put that ooze blast back into the Hordak's blaster arm, and I set up a couple more Hordak figures. So here's another comparison between the Turtles of Grayskull HORDAK. This is the San Diego Comic-Con HORDAK that came in a 4-pack. And here's the first release, vintage-inspired HORDAK. So, yeah, if you're not familiar with this HORDAK, he came in that 4-pack, as I already mentioned. I think he was also sold one time at Mattel Creations. He sold out very fast. A lot of people always like this, you know, animation or filmation-inspired HORDAK. Kind of what it was going for, but yet it's still stuck with the vintage-inspired designs. Now, we can't really use anything with him over on this HORDAK and vice versa because the skin tones, obviously, the blue, they're totally different. It would have been neat if you had both HORDAKs to change this blaster arm on this side, on this HORDAK, and if you want to put that arm on this one, you could. Yeah, this arm kind of goes back to the She-Ra cartoon. When he would morph, as far as the weapons, or usually the right arm, he had a blaster, something similar to this. So that's pretty cool, and it doesn't come off as well. It does spin, I think, but it was like pegged on. But yeah, anyway, it's not going to work because of the colors. So what I did want to do is put this HORDAK head on this HORDAK, and we'll also switch out the boots. And we already tried the armor and cape, right? But I used this HORDAK as far as that, yeah, the armor and cape. Now this is all black, which works good on him because the overall armor is all black. Probably would have been better to use this one because the silver highlights if you were trying to match the belt, the bracer, and this weapon. But again, you have this one or you don't. It's hard to get. And I think this is fine, just for example. Anyway, and now let's look at that setup. So yeah, once again, we have our Turtles of Grayskull HORDAK body with the wings on, blaster arms. Can't really do much with that. Put some black boots on them from the San Diego Comic-Con HORDAK and the other vintage inspired one. They're basically the same from what I can see. And that head's on. It does work, articulates well. And it really bright, right? The bright white going back to the regular head came on his HORDAK, similar to that. And now with the same setup, I just changed out the HORDAK head off the first release HORDAK body over this HORDAK head. So, because most people, again, have this HORDAK. So you had this Turtles of Grayskull HORDAK and this whole setup. You want to put that head on instead. It works really well. And obviously, yeah, it has like a darker, where this is really white, it has a darker, yeah, bone color, like how bones are dirty, and then you can see the difference with the black in the face. But I think they're almost the same exact sculpt. The eyes are wider in this one, and he's squinting more. Yeah, the mouth looks the same. Things like that. Of course, you know, he has the silver paint around the collar. He don't, but it will work. Looks good to match the armor and articulates well. So once again, bringing back in this San Diego Comic-Con HORDAK body, or actually this might have been a PowerCon HORDAK in a 4-pack, and Mattel Creations, whatever it was. It sold out fast, but the blue body Hordak with the original Origin style looks. So I just obviously put his head back on. I changed out the silver boots off the Turtles of Grayskull Hordak. And yeah, I put the armor and wings on. So if you had this Hordak, again, this newer figure. So next up, once again, I brought in a vintage-inspired Hordak, or the grayskin Hordak that, again, most of us have. If you didn't already have this, yeah, blue Hordak. It's always a favorite. It's going back to nostalgia, the gray one. So there's a look at the, yeah, Turtles of Grayskull armor and wings on him. Of course, this has his regular head on, have that minion strapped to his hand. He has the open hand. He also comes with a crossbow. One of the white ones, right? You can snap on, just in a way. And I just left the black boots on, so there's a quick look at that setup. And yeah, again, that looks so awesome on this Hordak with the wings. And now, still in the same setup, a Hordak with the Turtles of Grayskull wings mounted on this gray body. I put this, the Turtles of Grayskull head and collar on because it's very Filmation inspired. I know I didn't try it out on the blue Hordak because, I don't know, I felt he already had the Filmation inspired head. You get the point, but I wanted to put it on this gray Hordak, see what that looks like. And again, it looks incredible. Fits good. The, obviously this is matching the armor like it's supposed to. It even somewhat matches the gloves and his boots. So once again, moving forward, here's a couple more comparisons with other Filmation-inspired Hordaks. So here's our Masterverse Hordak, which I already brought in the beginning of the video. All right, we mixed a little bit of parts around. We're going to get to him next, see if the wings fit. And then this is the Super 7 Club Grayskull cartoon-inspired Hordak, which is really cool. But unfortunately, the armor is all sculpted to the body, and so is the back of his hood. So I can't try the wings on him, because that would look, I think that would look really neat. You can get the head off, but yeah, the collar, none of that comes off. So that's a little disappointing. All right, so I just wanted to bring him in. And the other reason why I brought him in, too, is that there was a cartoon Hordak announced for the Origins cartoon collection at San Diego Comic-Con, so I'm looking forward to that. And this one also came with Imp. I really wish that Turtles Hordak, or one of them, hopefully the cartoon one, will come with an Imp, because he looks really cool. And yeah, it goes hand in hand with Hordak. So anyway, going back to the Masterverse Hordak. So yeah, so this one's not going to work. I can't do anything with the wings, because I can't break any of those parts off. So going back to this Hordak, let me remove the head helmet, the hood again, and the armor, and see if the wings go on. And now there's a quick look at that setup. So yeah, the wings and the armor fits really good on the Masterverse Hordak. I did put his head and collar on. Now it is sloppy, but it can work, right? It's front and the back, and you can see how the hood rests on the, the down on the neck on the back. So it's okay. Just got to move it around. It would have been better, see, going back to his armor, how it had the 3 pins like I showed earlier in the video, and that hood has to sit on top of him for his cape. So we'll get that out of the way. Beside that, yeah, it fits the Masterverse Hordak very well. And then the last thing I want to do with this Masterverse Hordak setup is just put that, we'll call it the PowerCon Hordak head on that body, because just, yeah, how white it is, going back to the Princess of Power animation, kind of what this figure was going for. Just a quick look at that setup. And that works good too. Yeah, with the armor, the wings, it snaps right down, has good articulation. I mean, it does stick out a little bit here, but beside that, yeah, pretty cool. Alright, so as far as customs, and the last thing I wanted to try is, does this armor and wings fit on a Classics figure? Now, I showed the Super 7 Classics Club Grayskull Hordak, the armor, right, the bone collar does not come off, so we can't try these out on that figure. But I always use my spare Classic Skeletor, for example, because he has the same, buck or aesthetics that most of the Classics do. Now, yeah, this is Hordak, so I do have one on card, like most of my stuff. So if you had a Hordak and you had these wings, will it work? But I think the Classics Hordak, if you were pop the head and armor off, I think the lower part, the ab, is actually all black. So I don't know, it might look weird. It might match this. Anyway, so I'm going to use Skeletor, for example, because again, same buck. So let's try it. I'm just going to leave the head on, pop the wings and the armor on. Look at that. Bang, done. Yep, sits right on a Classic, kind of. And it is a little sloppy. You can always put something in the back, piece of foam or tape or something, just to wedge it, and like tighten it down, or the front. Hey, look at that. Now we have a winged Skeletor, Classic Skeletor. So yeah, for the most part, can fit a Classics. And if you had a Hordak, like this one out of card, and you want to put these on that Hordak, it will work and look pretty cool. Alright, so to finish the video up, show one last comparison. So yeah, I brought in the rest of the figures that's now part of this Turtles of Grayskull line against Hordak. or at least the main villains from each faction. So yeah, we have our Turtles-inspired or Samurai Skeletor, which came out really cool. Of course, Shredder, which he was always the leader of the Foot Clan, going back to the Turtles franchise. We have the Krang Megator figure in the background, which another awesome figure box set. And now, of course, Hordak. The only one we're missing is King Hiss. He is coming out in the spring for the Turtles Grayskull line, but I think he's going to be in a mutated form, which is cool. So I look forward to getting him. Side that, yeah, they did an excellent job on this Hordak. I absolutely love that mechanical wing design, how it articulates. I like how simple it is, too, the way it clips onto this main armor that just drops onto the shoulder, like I showed, and you can try it on or put it on the vintage other Hordaks, the Masterverse, even classics. Works great. I like that head and head sculpt. This blaster arm is a really neat addition with that effect, and it's cool that they made the peg the same as the Roboto and Trapjaw pegs, right? So you can try the parts out, as I also showed. Would have been neat if this armor is reversible to this side, and you could put that one on this side. And if you got two of these, then you can either set them up with two regular arms if you wanted that, or two blasters. But yeah, it's not going to work. It can, but then the bicep and tricep so it's upside down. It's not like the pin rotates all around, or the bicep can spin or something like that. Then it would. Sorry for that. This was, yeah, it's just designed for the right side. And, of course, it comes with some silver boots, which look cool. And you can always change out the black pair from your other Hordak figures. But I got to say, he's probably one of the best figures in this Series 4 wave of the Turtles of Grayskull. Right? Hordak's always a favorite, and I'm so excited to have him. So once again, I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.